My parents gave away our family lake house to my sister, claiming I'm too successful to need it. Hey Reddit, so I'm Ethan, 38, and I'm about to lose my mind. My family, there's something else. My older sister, Brianna, is the golden child, always needing bailouts, and my younger brother, Noah, is basically a professional couch surfer. Me. I'm the responsible one, the one with a stable job, and apparently that makes me the family ATM, but not in a good way. They seem to think my success means I don't deserve anything. It's always been like this. Brianna gets praised for starting another doomed business, Noah gets sympathy for his artistic struggles, and I get ignored. This whole thing with the lake house is just the last straw. I'm not sure what to do anymore. Should I just walk away? It was supposed to be a normal family dinner. Mom called, all cheery. Ethan, sweetie, we're having dinner Sunday. Your father grilled steaks. Steaks. My dad only grills steaks for special occasions. I should have known something was up. So I go, trying to be optimistic. Maybe they finally want to acknowledge my promotion. Ha, joke's on me. We're halfway through the meal, everyone's laughing, and then my mom drops the bomb. We've decided to give Brianna the lake house. The lake house, the place we spent every summer as kids, the place Dad promised us we'd all share. It felt like the floor dropped out from under me. I just stared at them, my fork clattering to my plate. What? I managed to choke out. Well, Brianna needs it more, my mom chirped, like she was talking about giving away an old sweater. For her, business retreats. Brianna, the one whose business retreats are basically week-long parties with her influencer friends. My dad chimes in, patting my shoulder condescendingly. You're doing so well, Ethan, you don't need it. Don't need it. It wasn't about needing it. It was about family. It was about memories. It was about the one thing we all shared. My stomach churned. I felt this wave of nausea wash over me. I literally thought I was going to be sick right there at the table. Brianna, of course, is beaming, all fake innocence. Oh, thank you, Mom and Dad. This is so amazing. I tried to reason with them. But Dad, you promised. We all talked about this. We were going to share it. He just waved his hand dismissively. That was a long time ago, son. Things change. My mom actually rolled her eyes. Rolled her, EYES. Don't be materialistic, Ethan. Brianna needs this for her work. I couldn't breathe. It was like they slapped me in the face. Not just with the lake house thing, but with the utter lack of respect, the casual cruelty of it all. It hit me then, right in the gut. They don't see me. They don't value me. I'm just the bank. The responsible one who doesn't need anything. Because apparently having my shit together means I don't deserve anything. I just sat there numb while they celebrated their generosity, completely oblivious to the gaping hole they just ripped through my heart. My voice started shaking. I could feel my face getting hot. This isn't about being materialistic, I said, trying to keep my voice level. It's about the principle. It's about family, it's about a promise. My mom sighed dramatically. Ethan, you're being dramatic, you always were so sensitive. Sensitive? They were giving away a piece of my childhood and I'm sensitive. Brianna decided to chime in with her sugary, sweet fake concern. Ethan, honey, I know you're upset, but really, think about it. You're in Austin all the time, working. When would you even use it? Work, right? Because apparently having a stable job is a crime. That's not the point, Brianna, I snapped, finally losing a little bit of my composure. It's the principle of the thing. You guys just decided this without even talking to me. My dad gave me this patronizing look, the one he always gives me when he thinks I'm being unreasonable. Look, Ethan, we're doing what's best for the family. You need to be more understanding. Understanding. I stood up, pushing my chair back. The scraping sound was deafening. Understanding, you're giving away something that belongs to all of us and I'm supposed to be understanding. My hands were clenched so tight my knuckles were white. I could feel the blood pounding in my ears. Don't raise your voice at your father, my mom snapped, her voice laced with ice. We've made our decision, you're being childish. Childish. That's when it hit me. This wasn't a normal family disagreement. This was toxic. They weren't even trying to see my side. They were just dismissing me, invalidating my feelings like they always do. Gaslighting me into thinking I was the crazy one. I couldn't. You know what? I said, my voice shaking. Forget it. Forget the lake house, forget the stakes, forget this whole family. I turned and walked out, the slam of the front door echoing behind me. I didn't even look back. I'm sitting in my car now, shaking, I feel sick. Empty, like I've been punched in the gut. And I keep asking myself the same question, were they always like this? Or am I just finally seeing them for who they really are? A week later, and it's only gotten worse. Seriously, Reddit, I didn't think they could stoop any lower, but I was so wrong. They've brought out the big guns, Aunt Susan. Aunt Susan is my mom's sister, the self-proclaimed family therapist who thinks a casserole can solve any problem. She called me yesterday, all sweet and concerned. Ethan, honey, your mother is just beside herself. You've upset her so much. Beside herself? I'm beside myself. They're the ones who gave away a property they promised to all of us. I tried to explain my side, but she just kept interrupting, saying things like, family is everything, Ethan, and you need to be more understanding of your sister's struggles. Struggles? Brianna's biggest struggle is deciding which Instagram filter to use. Then came the guilt trip. Your grandmother would be so disappointed in you, Ethan. Seriously. Dragging grandma into this. I hung up. I couldn't listen to it anymore. But it didn't stop there. This morning, I woke up to a text from my cousin, Emily. Emily, who I haven't spoken to in years, suddenly decided to message me about how disappointed she is in me. Apparently, Aunt Susan has been spreading her version of the story to the entire family. I'm now officially the ungrateful, selfish son who's tearing the family apart. Are you kidding me? This is affecting everything. I can't sleep. I can't focus at work. Maya is amazing, trying to be supportive, but even she's starting to get frustrated with the constant drama. I feel like I'm drowning in a sea of their manufactured outrage. And the worst part, I'm starting to doubt myself. Am I overreacting? Am I being selfish? But then I remember the email. The cold, calculated plan to manipulate me. And I know deep down that I'm not wrong. This isn't about the lake house anymore. It's about years of being overlooked, dismissed, and taken for granted. I need to do something. I can't keep living like this. This isn't a family, it's a firing squad, and I'm the target. I'm starting to think going low contact isn't enough. I might need to go no contact. I don't know how to do that. How do you walk away from your family? Even when they're this toxic? Any advice, Reddit? I'm seriously losing it here. So I finally broke down and told Maya everything. It all came pouring out, the lake house, the gaslighting, Aunt Susan's crusade, the whole 9 yards. I was hesitant at first. It's hard, admitting your family is, well, messed up. I started by saying, it's probably nothing, I'm probably overreacting, but... Classic Ethan, minimizing my own feelings. Maya listened patiently, not interrupting, which is huge. She's a therapist, so she's good at that whole active listening thing. But as I talked, I could see her expression changing. She went from concerned to I don't know, incredulous. When I finished, she was silent for a moment, just staring at me. Then she said, Ethan, and her voice was so soft, it almost scared me. Honey, this isn't normal. This isn't even close to normal. That's when the dam broke. I just lost it. Ugly crying, the whole deal. I felt like such an idiot, like I should have seen it all along. But Maya, she just held me, and when I finally calmed down, she started talking. And what she said, it changed everything. Ethan, she said, your family is engaging in a pattern of emotional manipulation. They're using your guilt and your sense of obligation to control you. They're dismissing your feelings, minimizing your needs, and gaslighting you into thinking you're the problem. Manipulation. Gaslighting. Those words, they were like a punch to the gut, because suddenly it all clicked. It wasn't me. It was them. I wasn't overreacting. I wasn't being selfish, I was being manipulated. They're treating you like a resource, she continued, not a person. They value what you provide: financial stability, emotional support, more than they value you, and that's not okay. That's not okay. Hearing her say that, it was like a weight lifted off my chest. Someone finally saw it. Someone finally validated my feelings. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't alone. You have the right to set boundaries, Maya told me, her voice firm. You don't have to tolerate this behavior. You deserve to be treated with respect. Boundaries, that was the key. I'd spent my whole life trying to please them, trying to earn their love and approval. But Maya helped me see that their love wasn't conditional on my compliance. I deserved respect, regardless of what I did or didn't do for them. Talking to Maya was a turning point. It gave me the clarity I desperately needed. It gave me the strength to start fighting back. I'm still scared, still unsure of what to do next, but I'm not alone anymore. And that makes all the difference. Okay, Reddit, buckle up, because this is where it gets really messed up. I was already a wreck after the lake house fiasco, the Aunt Susan intervention, the whole guilt trip extravaganza. I was trying to keep it together, trying to focus on work, but I was constantly on edge, waiting for the next emotional grenade to explode. I was checking my email, trying to clear out my inbox when I saw it, a forwarded email chain from my mom. Subject line, Operation Ethan, Operation ETHAN. My blood ran cold. I clicked on it, my hand shaking so badly I could barely use the mouse. The first email was from my mom to Brianna. Brianna, honey, I'm so worried about Ethan. He's taking this lake house thing way too hard. We need to figure out how to handle him. Handle me, like I'm some kind of rabid dog. My stomach churned. Brianna's response was even worse. Don't worry, Mom, Ethan's predictable. Just lay on the guilt trip about family and he'll cave eventually. He always does. Predictable, always does. They were literally strategizing about how to manipulate me. My vision started to blur. I felt this wave of dizziness wash over me. There were more emails, back and forth between them, discussing how to play on my guilt, how to use my sense of obligation against me. They even talked about how I was easy to manage because I was so eager to please. Easy to manage. They saw me as a pawn in their game, a tool to be used and discarded. And then the kicker, my dad chimed in. Just remind him about his grandmother, that always shuts him up. My grandmother. They were going to use my dead grandmother to manipulate me. That was it, something snapped inside me. I slammed my laptop shut, the sound echoing in the silence of my apartment. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. I just paced, back and forth like a caged animal. My chest ached. My throat tightened. I felt this burning rage coursing through my veins. It was like a switch flipped in my brain. I was done. Done. I wasn't going to be their puppet anymore. I wasn't going to let them control me with their guilt and their manipulation. I was done being the good son, the responsible one, the easy one. I grabbed my phone and started typing. An email to my parents, to Brianna. I didn't care if it was impulsive. I didn't care if it was dramatic. I needed to get it out. I needed them to know. We need to talk, I wrote. Tomorrow, neutral ground, and Brianna, you better be there. I hit send, my hand trembling. I didn't know what I was going to say. I didn't know what would happen. But I knew one thing, I wasn't going to back down. This wasn't about the lake house anymore. This was about my life. This was about finally standing up for myself. And I was terrified, but I was also free. All right, Reddit, I knew going into this I couldn't just react emotionally. I needed a plan. This wasn't just about the lake house anymore, this was about years of being treated like a human doormat. I needed to be prepared. So here's what I did. Evidence gathering. First things first, I printed out that email chain. All of it. Multiple copies. Highlighted the most damning parts. Predictable. Easy to manage. The whole disgusting grandmother manipulation strategy. I treated this like a damn court case because honestly it felt like one. I also started a document. A detailed timeline of every instance I could remember where they'd dismissed me, minimized my feelings, or prioritized my siblings. Dates, times, specific examples. I needed this to remind myself I wasn't crazy, that this wasn't just one isolated incident. This was a pattern. Strategy. I knew I couldn't go in there guns blazing, even though every cell in my body wanted to scream. I needed to be calm, controlled, assertive. Maya helped me with this. We practiced. She role-played my parents, throwing their usual guilt trips and manipulations at me, and I practiced responding calmly, focusing on my needs and boundaries. I understand you feel that way, but this is about my feelings. I'm not willing to discuss this anymore. It felt weird at first, almost robotic, but the repetition helped. I needed to break the cycle of reacting emotionally to their tactics. Support system. Maya was my rock through all of this. She helped me see the situation clearly, without the fog of family dynamics and years of ingrained guilt. But I also talked to a lawyer. Not to sue them, yet anyway, but to understand my options regarding the lake house. Just knowing I had options, that I wasn't completely powerless, was huge. It gave me a sense of control I hadn't felt before. Mental and emotional prep. This was the hardest part. I was a mess. Angry, hurt, confused, terrified. I did a lot of journaling, just pouring out all the emotions I'd been bottling up for years. I went for runs. I listened to angry music. I screamed into a pillow. Don't judge. I needed to process all that rage and hurt so I could walk into that confrontation with a clear head. And you know what? As I prepared, something shifted inside me. The fear started to recede, replaced by resolve, determination. I was no longer a victim. I was taking control. I was finally going to confront the gilded cage I'd been trapped in my whole life. And honestly, it felt damn good. This wasn't just about the lake house anymore. This was about reclaiming my life. This was about finally being free. Okay, Reddit, here's how it went down. I chose a neutral location, a quiet coffee shop near my parents' place. I got there early, printed email chain in hand, my heart hammering against my ribs. I felt like I was about to go into battle. Brianna showed up first, predictably late, dressed to the nines like she was going to a brunch with the Kardashians. She gave me this condescending look, like I was wasting her precious time. "So," she drawled, "what's this emergency?" "I have a very important meeting later." I didn't rise to the bait, just took a deep breath and waited for my parents. They arrived together, all smiles and forced cheerfulness. "Ethan, sweetie," my mom started. "What's all this about? We were so worried." Worried? They were worried about me? I almost laughed. We sat down, the tension thick enough to cut with a knife. I took another deep breath and started, my voice shaking slightly. "I found something," I said, sliding the printed emails across the table. "I think you should read this." Their smiles faltered as they scanned the pages. My mom's face paled. My dad's jaw tightened. Brianna just stared at me, her eyes wide with a mix of shock and fear. What is this?" my mom stammered, her voice barely a whisper. "It's an email chain," I said, my voice gaining strength with every word. "Discussing how to handle me, how to manipulate me into accepting your decision about the lake house." The silence was deafening. They looked at each other, then back at me, like deer caught in headlights. "Ethan, this isn't what it looks like," my dad started, but I cut him off. "Really?" I said, my voice rising. "Because it looks an awful lot like you were planning to exploit my guilt and my sense of obligation. It looks like you see me as a pawn, someone you can control and manipulate to get what you want." Brianna finally found her voice, but it was shaky and high-pitched. "Ethan, you're taking this out of context. We were just concerned." "Concerned?" I repeated, my voice dripping with sarcasm. "Concerned enough to strategize about using my dead grandmother against me. Is that your idea of concern?" That's when the power dynamic shifted. I saw it in their eyes. The shock, the panic, they weren't in control anymore. I was. "I'm done," I said, my voice firm and unwavering. "Done being your emotional punching bag. Done being the responsible one who gets nothing but disrespect in return. I deserve to be treated with the same respect and consideration you give Brianna and Noah. And I'm not going to tolerate this behavior anymore." My mom started to cry, the fake tears flowing freely. "Ethan, you're being unfair. We love you. We just want what's best for you." "If this is what you consider love," I said, gesturing to the emails, "then I don't want it. I'm not asking you to change. I'm telling you I'm changing. I'm setting boundaries. And if you can't respect those boundaries, then we're done." I stood up, gathering my things. "I'm not going to beg for your love and approval anymore. I'm not going to let you manipulate me. I'm done." I walked out, leaving them sitting there, stunned into silence. I didn't look back, and as I walked away, I felt this lightness. A sense of freedom I hadn't felt in years. It was terrifying, yes, but it was also exhilarating. I was finally free from the gilded cage, and it felt damn good. It's been 6 months since the coffee shop confrontation, and the fallout has been messy, to say the least. As expected, my parents were completely defensive. They denied any wrongdoing, accused me of overreacting, and basically doubled down on their usual tactics. Brianna, predictably, went full drama queen, cutting off all contact and painting me as the villain to anyone who would listen. Aunt Susan, of course, joined the chorus, adding fuel to the fire with her own brand of distorted family therapy. It was a circus. I went low contact with my parents. I answer their calls maybe once a month, keeping the conversations short and surface level. I've completely stopped engaging with their emotional manipulation. When they try to guilt-trip me, I simply say, "I'm not willing to discuss this," and end the conversation. It's hard, don't get me wrong. There's still a part of me that wants their approval, that aches for the family I thought we had. But I know deep down that I can't go back. I have to protect myself. Noah, surprisingly, has been decent. He hasn't taken sides, which honestly is more than I expected. He even called me a few weeks ago just to check in. We talked about neutral things, avoiding the family drama, and it was nice. It gave me a sliver of hope that maybe, someday, we can rebuild our relationship, independent of the toxic dynamic with my parents. Maya has been my absolute rock. She supported me every step of the way, reminding me of my worth, reinforcing my boundaries, and celebrating my small victories. I started therapy, too, which has been incredibly helpful. It's helped me unpack years of emotional baggage, understand the patterns of my family dynamic, and develop healthier coping mechanisms. I'm not perfect, and I still have bad days, but I'm learning, I'm growing. I'm finally starting to prioritize MY needs and MY well-being. The biggest surprise, my work. I've always been a good employee, but since the confrontation, I've been killing it. I'm more focused, more assertive, more confident. I got another promotion a few months ago, something I probably wouldn't have even pursued before. Standing up to my family gave me this newfound sense of self-worth that spilled over into every aspect of my life. Who knew setting boundaries could be so empowering? It's not all sunshine and roses, though. The holidays were rough. I spent Thanksgiving and Christmas with Maya and her family, which was wonderful, but there was still this ache. A sense of loss for the family I never had. I still grieve for that, for the idealized version of my parents that I clung to for so long. And I know this is a long-term process. Healing takes time. So, here I am 6 months later. The relationship with my parents is still strained, the lake house is still a sore spot, and Aunt Susan is probably still talking shit about me to the entire extended family. But I'm free. I'm finally living my life for me, not for them. And that's a feeling I wouldn't trade for anything. What do you think, Reddit? Has anyone else gone through something similar? How did you handle it? Any advice for navigating the long road of healing from a toxic family?